Hello everyone, welcome to my review of Transformers Studio Series. Right, we have numbers again. Number 116, Deluxe class Beetle Bumblebee, boys. Based on his appearance from the Bumblebee movie. However, one little thing that I will say immediately as a little bit of a problem, I guess you could say, is that this is kind of a retool of the original Beetlebee that we had back in the day. And what I mean with kind of a retool, it's basically the car. The car stuff is, like the old stuff, and then basically the robot itself, at least from what I read on TF Wiki, is kind of the new stuff. So he has a lot of new stuff, but also he has some of that old stuff, and this thing, while being miles better than that original release that I do not own, and I never want to own. I almost bought that thing, by the way, but the thing is that that thing was like 60 bucks on eBay, and I was like, that's not happening. Ever. But then this idiot got announced. I was like, yay, new one. And then it was like, there's not gonna be a new one. It's like, dang it. Kind of hope for a new one because sadly enough, even though he's kind of hiding it, man still got them door wings, boys, that he is not supposed to have because he only had the door wings once in one scene in the movie, and that was a scene where he was in Charlie's house. Outside of that, he never had the door wings. However, this time with the door wings, you can actually put them here around the back. Now, there is another way to do it. Let me show that off immediately, and that is basically rotating it down like this. It is actually like this. I don't like it. Personally, I don't like it. It makes it backpack stick out even more. However, I did do this for the thumbnail because it made the thumbnail look a bit better because you can see it way less from the front. But anyway, I really wish that they just gave us a new mold of this guy instead of this, because of the fact that while this is better, it's still not perfect though. But hey, I guess we gotta do what we gotta do. However, I do have my own little mistransformation, as always happens with me. But anyway, I will say certain other things though that I have some issues with, and that is mainly the transformation, but we'll get there later on. But I just wanted to mention it right now in case I forgot. I do not like this guy's transformation. Apparently it's better than the original. Like I said, never owned the thing, don't know, but god, it's still not really all that good. It's mainly the doors. He has like the Dark of the Moon mud flap problem. But anyway, overall, he looks very nice. So let's get close here on the little Bumblebee. And man, this looks way better than originally. You got the head sculpt. You got the nice little front here. You got the nice, like, even with the door wings kind of like this, you can still not really see them. So it looks so much better on camera anyway. But you got the nice front here of the Beetle, which is actually a normal thing to do for a Bumblebee, as you may not know, in the movie verse anyway. And then afterwards, we got the long legs that are here because of how the thing transforms. I do kind of wish that the legs were a little bit shorter. Maybe that way it could have worked better for the transformation as well. But I have no idea. You also got the nice arms. Also, a little problem though, personal thing though, is the two-toned yellow. I know matching yellow is very difficult to do, but I kind of wish he just came with this type of yellow instead of that type of yellow. Because these are supposed to be the same dudes from the same movie. It's just after that, he turned into a Beetle. That's what happened, and instantly his colors immediately just became more brighter, I guess you could say. But to be honest, wish he had that darker yellow, but I don't know. I also kind of like this yellow specifically because of the fact that this is a younger Bumblebee in that sense. So he has that younger color. But this thing looks good, except for like the back, because that is where basically the whole vehicle is at. I mean, he does the classic folding up. Also, yes, this whole back piece outside of this is clear plastic. By the way, these two pieces also are not. These two pieces and this thing are not clear plastic, but the rest of it, the doors and also the roof and the back section, are all clear plastic. Now, it is made out of thicker, at least around the hinges, thicker clear plastic, which means it is less prone to breaking, but I still hate it. I know people like the whole clear plastic stuff because you can see inside the car and see the robot bits just hanging out. But to be honest, I'm not opposed to just having painted windows, you know? Maybe that's just a me thing, but it is better. Anyway, Bumblebee is not all you get, because you also get his weapon. Starting off, what comes with every single one of these Bumblebees is the gun. Because I actually think in the open box, I actually said it wrong. Because I said the other weapon came with like either off-road or the Cybertron version. Neither, actually. It came with the Rise of the Beast Bumblebee. So I was a little bit wrong. But he has the gun that I like and don't like. Now, I like it because it actually looks really cool. Look at this. Are you not focused? maybe you're focused. But anyway, look at this gun. Looks pretty cool. But why I don't like it is the fact that if you put it in his hand, which by the way just goes over his hand, it's not coming off. It doesn't want to come off anymore. Like, I always pop off the arm before I pop off the actual gun. Which, by the way, just a little thing. It's kind of weird to have, like, ball-jointed elbows here, because none of the other Bumblebees have that. I find that weird. However, I do have a little trickery for, to remove that stuff. And that is basically with someone else's weapon. So I'm gonna grab a weapon from the size comparison. Here we are, we've got a weapon. And basically just pushing it in here and hopefully out of the arm. Promise it bends with, so. This is how I like to personally do it. It's the, okay, see, this is what I mean. It just pops off the ball joint always, but like, it doesn't want to come out. I hate removing the gun. So we're gonna move this thing off to the side. But I hate removing the gun. It's just such an annoyance. He looks really cool while wielding it, but also the ball joint is just a bit, not loose necessarily, but it pops off a little bit easier. But that's not all you get, because also you get the blade, boys. The same one that came with the, I think, the original figure, but I don't own that one. So we're gonna give the credit to the Rise of the Beast Bumblebee. And obviously you could put it on either side, but I like to personally put it on this side. And here you go. And with this idiot, you can actually remove it with the greatest of ease, which I like. You know, I like being able to remove my weapons, but it's not like it pops off really easily. It's just, it's easy to remove. But here he is with his blade weapon, which two-toned like coloration. But it's still a nice looking blade right there. Look at that. So he comes with the classic Bumblebee stuff. Personally, I know I'm being greedy here, but a little minifigure of like Charlie would have been perfect for this guy. That would have sold it for me, like 100%. Easy recommendation. Now then, next up we have the articulation, obviously, so the head can rotate all the way off. It can rotate all the way off. Okay. Not really an all the way around. Don't rotate it all the way around, otherwise the head pops off. So basically you got some side-to-side action. Oh, come on, dude. The head pops off so easily now. What is it with this figure? You also got some up and down. You get wee bit of side-to-side as well. Arms can do a full rotation technically. You can also, with the door wings, you can move them like this out of the way to give Bumblebee the whole rotation if you need to. You also have this little thing, which doesn't lock in at all. And I kind of wish it did. Like, I mean, you can use it potentially for articulation, but like I kind of wish it just locked in. Then also because of the ball joint, you get an elbow bend and a swivel, nothing at the hand. And here we come to the main problem, I guess, of the figure and everyone else's complaint. That is no waist. Absolutely, he got no waist. Now there is easily room in there to put a waist joint. I kind of wish maybe they put it a little bit higher above the engine block so you could still have that waist rotation, you know, like up here. But yeah, there's no, so don't expect much. Then afterwards you got the legs that can go all the way up, and they can also go all the way backwards, in and out as well. A rotation up here and a bend at the knee that doesn't really go all that far. Sadly enough, it just goes like this, not even really a full knee bend. And then also feet are on ball joints, I think. So you got that ankle tilt and you got that up and down action as well. So you have a lot of playing room with this guy, except for that waist rotation, which might be some people's issues. So then let's move straight into the next segment then, which is size comparison. Starting off, I will say this before we get into the true size comparison. I did not bring out Blitzwing nor Dropkick and Shatter because I'm not in the mood. Okay? I'm not in the mood to bring them out. Mainly Dropkick and Shatter, and to be honest, that also kind of dropped Blitzwing as well, because Blitzwing also doesn't really work. You were dead before this Bumblebee even happened, you know? You were killed by the other one. Anyway, let's get the Bumblebees in here, shall we, boys? Here we have it, boys. The evolution of the Beeverse, as I like to call it the Beeverse, actually. The Rise of the Beast and Bumblebee movies. But anyway, the Beeverse Bumblebee, starting on Cybertron on Earth as the Jeep, taking basically Swindle spot and vehicle mode. Also, then after that for the rest of the movie and in Rise of the Beast, and technically at the end of Transformers Bumblebee, because he does kind of turn into that Camaro, but he doesn't have that spoiler thing. But outside of that, he turns to that thing. And there you go. Here we got the evolution of the Bumblebees. God, there's so much yellow on screen. And to be honest, I actually do like having all of these, just the evolution of the Bumblebee. It's just so nice to have all of these guys. So then let's bring in the only other Autobot that actually actually made it to Earth. That being the leader, boys, Optimus Prime right here. Was this supposed to fold away? I guess this might be supposed to fold away. I don't know. Anyway, yeah, Optimus Prime, he's here. Yay, hello Optimus Prime. Yay, we got them together. I was thinking about grabbing the Rise of the Beast one because that one is infinitely better than this one, but no. And also, by the way, with the Bumblebee situation, it is not like Optimus, which I think actually the other Optimus that we got was like a retool of this guy, but then it became so good and so bad in truck mode, but so good. That is not what this Bumblebee is. Just gotta say that. But here they are together, the only other Autobot that ever made it to Earth, because the rest of them are all on Cybertron, so they wouldn't really make sense. So let's get you out of here. Let's get the final one in here with a classic one, boys. I know, different universe, but here we got Iron Knight Sideswipe and Jess from the movie continuity, different movie continuity, but still, technically the Bumblebee movie was originally designed as a prequel to the Bayverse movies, which is also why Megatron was cut out from the Bumblebee movie, because it wouldn't make sense that he was on Cybertron when he's supposed to be a popsicle on Earth. That kind of stuff. So yeah, but here we have them all together looking very nice. Let's get them out of here. Pull Bumblebee a bit closer and let's get into that transformation. So here we are, boys, the problematic part. The transformation of the Bumblebee. So, I'll do my best, but this is not going to be fun. Anyway, I'll just start off with folding these pieces out and rotating the door wings up to kind of get it out of the way of this part. You can also just unfold this whole piece, this whole thing, this whole Bumblebee shell, or the Beetle shell, I guess you could say. After that, we're going to focus entirely on the legs. So what you want to do with the legs is you want to start off with this gray piece here and fold it up. That was why at the beginning of the review it was actually folded up, but you want to fold that up. Then after that, what you want to do is you want to rotate the feet and like shift it forward so that you have something that looks like this. So just shift it forward and fold it up like so. After that, what you want to do is you want to basically take this piece here, rotate it backwards, and then also hook it onto the back bumper, which that is going to become undone. I'll tell you that right now, okay? That is gonna definitely be undone later on. Just gotta give you that heads up. Then afterwards you tap these bad boys together like so. Also fold out the wheels, which you can actually do later. It doesn't really matter, but let's do that right now. Then afterwards we actually come to a really cool part that I was not expecting. You can split the upper thighs in half like so. And that is because of the fact otherwise the knees can't bend fully. But you want to basically rotate this all the way up, then rotate the knees in and rotate this up so that we can kind of align it like so, until you can't really push it anymore like this. And now we come to the rest of the figure. So what you want to do next is you want to take the bumper here and undo it from in here and rotate it up and around like so. Then after that you can just rotate the wheel until it's facing up, because that is going to be the configuration for later. And also I guess you can rotate out these pieces if they do a little bit of rotation. Fold these in to kind of get it out of the way, I guess. And now we come to the difficult part, the part that I don't like, the top part here. What you want to do with this, you want to shift this forward and fold it down and get it obviously, just like any other Bumblebee, in between here. That'll kind of line pieces up as well. Then afterwards, what you want to do with the back here is you want to tap that back in as well. So far, so good. Overall, doing pretty well. We're gonna just ruin everything later though, but for now. Anyway, next up, what you want to do is there are a lot of tabbing points, but none of them hold on tightly. Let's just say that, okay? So what you have, you got the two teeth right here, little teeth that are going to slide into the slot there. And also, I think somewhere else. And then you got like this little peggy right here at the back that is going to slide into like a clear piece in there. So basically you want to get everything here lined up. And also you want to get this behind this as well. So basically just push this in. That also pushes things out of alignment, sadly enough. So just hold it all together and then push it all in and hope for the best, but it does not want to work. And if you got that all done, then what you want to do is you want to kind of finish this up. Also rotate the arms a bit like this, but there's a big block there that goes into a slot there, so basically you just want to take this and hopefully be able to peg it in there. Oh, also there is also a tab here on the side of the hand that goes into a slot in there, which is the final step that you're supposed to do. And oh my god, kind of got it done. Here we have, after a long while, I guess, here we finally got the Bumblebee in his Beetle mode. So here we got Beetlebee in his Beetle mode, and yeah, overall a good looking Beetle, but there are some little problems here and there. It kind of tries to push itself out, as you can see right there. This is the best that I could get it, and overall, if everything did work the way it was supposed to, it would have looked really good. It's just the little gappies. It annoys me, the transformation. Mainly the side panels, though. Like, everything else in the transformation works. It's just getting these doors attached is where the biggest problem is for me with this figure. But outside of that, he does turn into a very cool World War II vehicle. That's the closest thing that I'll say, because I don't want to get into trouble with YouTube. But yes, indeed, I think these idiots were actually developed during World War II by the baddies. So, don't know why Bumblebee chose this one. Maybe a little bit problematic, but outside of that, you know, I like everything else outside of the doors. So here we go. Let's look at the figure. And to be honest, I will say this. The fact that this is not, like, clear, but this is clear, is kind of a bit of a weird one, because everything else here is clear. Also, we got a back window. We don't really get that a lot of the time. But it is very nice looking Beetle, man. I can just see Charlie drive this thing. Is so cool. I like the fact that they went back to G1 with the Bumblebee movie, and only with the Bumblebee movie, because I do not need to see live action versions of G1 designs. That's a bit boring. But for this one, it's kind of like a combination, you know. He's got that Bumblebee that we know and love, like robot mode, and then he's got the G1 vehicular form that, you know, the G1ers love. But still, very cool. And also, to be honest, this car works perfectly as a girl's first car in that sense, because, you know, you're barely 18, potentially, or maybe 16. You don't have money. You don't have money for like a big car. You cannot afford this thing. It's just not affordable. For a kid, like barely legal, basically, we can get like a terrible car like this as your first car, and there's nothing wrong with that. But overall, I do like the fact that we got an update. I am a fan, to be honest. I am happy though that I got like the Beetlebee, because of the fact that this is actually potentially the only Bumblebee that actually turns into a Beetle. Because, in case you don't know, the Generation 1 Bumblebee does not turn into a Beetle. He turns into like a chibi-fied version of a Beetle. This is the only one that actually turns into a Beetle. So that is why I like the fact that it's like, it's still different in a way from Generation 1, and I like that. But that is not all we got with the car, because we got also some weapon storage. So, the weapon storage is weird, okay? Starting off, as you can see, there's a little peg here sticking out from the back of the blade that goes into the hole at the bottom here of the gun. So you want to take this and plug this onto here. Then afterwards, you want to take this, and there are two, I guess you could say now, exhausts in the back here, potentially, and they go into the blade on either side. So basically, you want to take this and just, I'm trying to be careful here because of the fact that this is still, like, it can still explode. I feel like this thing is bound to explode a little bit. So we're just going to be super careful with this, and there you go, like that. That is how the weapon storage is, and we're just going to remove this immediately because it looks horrible, okay? The Beetle looks good, outside of, you know, a little bit of door problems, but outside of that, the Beetle looks good. We're not gonna make it worse with these guns, but I am happy that I own this thing. So, sis, comparison time. So let's bring in the Bumble family. So here we have the Beavers Bumblebees, and man, finally completed the collection. While I don't like transforming the Beetlebee, I'm still happy to own this thing. Now I got all of them, yes! The collection is completed, because I was so adamant I was never going to buy that number 18, I think, Beetlebee. The first Beetlebee, I was convinced I was never going to buy it, and I still don't have to buy that stupid thing, because we got a new one. This actually does make me very happy, because it's just the Bumblebees are now completed. Now I don't need any more of the Beavers Bumblebees, because we're done. So if they make another, like, new version of an old one, I don't care. I already got them completed. So this looks actually really good. And to be honest, I will say this, like, you know, like these two Bumblebees as like evolutions of each other work really well. Even in, I forgot to say that in robot mode. I noticed that while I was transforming, I was like, nah, I should have talked about it. But anyway, the fact that these two are like evolutions of each other, I think works really well. You got like the Michael Bay and the G1 kind of thing. It looks very nice together. So let's get these guys out of here and bring in the Prime. So here we have Optimus Prime next to Bumblebee. Bumblebee, and while we never saw these two on screen together because he was kind of this already when Optimus came to Earth, I am still happy that we got both of these two together, dude. They actually look really cool together. This does actually put a smile on my face. That's nice. So let's get you out of here for the Knight Rider. So here we got Bumblebee next to Kit as well. I will always use Kit for size comparisons in vehicle mode, if I remember, obviously. But here you go. And yeah, it's just a thing that I'm just gonna do, okay? Now, the last one then. We got the classic Iron Knight Sideswipe, and yes! And to be honest, if I'm being honest here, this Bumblebee would not necessarily look out of place with these guys. To be honest, it's the only normal vehicle that exists. Because everyone in the Michael Bay movies was always like these sports cars that no one can afford, so it's not really a good disguise. But to be honest, Beetlebee doesn't necessarily look all that terrible with the old ones. But like, this still looks actually really good with new and old together, you know? Like the old Bay-verse and then the B-verse, that kind of stuff. Even though I don't know how I'm gonna do it in the future because we are apparently getting another Bay-verse movie, not potentially set in the Bay-verse. So maybe we're gonna get a sequel to The Last Knight, but probably not. So I don't know what's going to happen, but they all look very nice together. And to be honest, Hasbro, you need to really appeal to the Chinese market if you want to make money, because that is how the Age of Extinction made a lot of money. Anyway, let's get these guys out of here. Pull you in a bit closer and let's get into that reverse transformation. So let's get Beetlebee back into his robotic mood, and that should be an easier thing because first of all, what you want to do is you want to basically I like to just untap the doors first. They seem to be the ones kind of like holding the stuff together, kind of. So let's just undo the doors, open it up, and rotate it out. Then afterwards, rotate out the legs down and also untap the arms from... come on, there you go. Untap the arms from in there. Okay, sure. Why are they ball joints? That makes it so much worse. So there you go. He's been disarmed. After that, also push up this piece here so you can get that out of the way. Rotate this in to get it out of the way. Rotate the doors out, and you can also fold this piece in. Rotate this down, and click that bad boy into place. Then afterwards, straighten out the legs. Split them apart, and then lost my part separator. Was lying next to the TV for some reason. Anyway, what you want to do is you want to basically come in here and untap this from in here and just rotate it up like... Oh, wait, you actually have to rotate it that way. Sorry, kind of forgot. So rotate it up like so to get it out of the way. Fold the wheels into the bottom of the foot. And then afterwards, rotate this back down, and then take this piece here and rotate it down as well. So rotate this... Oh. Yeah, rotate it down, put the foot back in, and then rotate this piece down as well. There you go, we got the legs all done. There we are. Now what you want to do is you want to rotate... Let's see here. Rotate this forward. Also rotate out the arms. That's the one that I was thinking of. Rotate out the arms. Rotate this forward. Get it around everything. And then in the side here. Let me just tab this in here. Alright, so here in the side you got a slot there that this is going to sit inside of. I think that this is the best connection piece they've ever done with like this forming the front, because it actually locks into place and keeps it there. Great job, Hasbro. Rotate the arms around so that the wheels are on the back and fold them down a bit. We'll get back to those later because they are still missing a piece. Afterwards, you want to rotate this piece here in and get it behind this whole thing. And then rotate this down and like so. Then afterwards, rotate the doors in as well in order to get that more out of the way. And then finally, for the last finishing touch, what you want to do is you want to take the arms, same thing on the other side. And then after a long while, here we have good old-fashioned Bumblebee back in his robotic mood. So, final thoughts on the Beetlebee. What do I think about him? I like him. While he is so much better than the original Beetlebee, I still think that this one is better, and I also think that this one is better, and exclusively transformation wise I also think that this one is better. But outside of that, like, the rest of this is better than this idiot, but like that idiot in vehicle mode holds together well. So would I recommend him? If you want yourself a Bumblebee, no, get this one. Just get this one. It's way better. You can even get the 86 one. It's also better than this thing, you know. But if you want yourself a Bumblebee movie, Bumblebee, out of the two that exist, yeah, you're gonna get this. Obviously, you have to get this. Also, a little thing that I wanted to talk about but completely forgot. while I was transforming, good old, here you go, size comparison. But anyway, while I was transforming this idiot, I forgot how the transformation worked. So I kind of looked up a video in order to get that ball rolling in that sense. And I typed in Optibotimus because I know Optibotimus is, you know, that's where my inspiration came from to do both robot to vehicle, vehicle to robot transformations, because you know, that's what he did, and it helped me out a lot. However, there's a panel here on the arm that in his video when he transforms, the guy pops off. When that popped off, I was also busy with that arm, and mine popped off as well. I just thought that was funny, and I'll mention it. Anyway, back to this idiot. Overall, like I said, I do like him. However, there are better Bumblebees out there. And while I do like the fact that, you know, you can fold in the wings a bit more in order to get them out of the way, they're still there. And I really wish that this thing just got a complete redo from the ground up instead of being like a retool in that sense, with like some of the pieces from the original still being here and still kind of making the figure a little bit less. And also, I really wish that this was not so stuck. And the fact that the arms were not ball joints, because they pop off way too easily for me, as you have seen throughout the video. But overall, I still like him, but I would not really recommend him at full price. I would say wait for a price cut, and then he is going to be worth it. So that has been my review of Transformers Studio Series number 116, Deluxe Class Beetle Bumblebee. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on that bell, and comment your thoughts on this figure. And please check out my Let's Play channel, linked in the description and at the end of the video. I upload 3 videos every day of different games, but mainly Pokemon. And I'll see you guys in the next review. Bye!